I'm a guy and was wondering, since you say that a single woman with kids will always come first, so the kids always come first. Women, wouldn't the same apply with a single man with kids? I'm assuming that you're a chick asking this question. Um, when it comes to children, what I've noticed anyway, and what I've heard from a lot of the experts in this space, is that women just always put their kids first, which is fine. I mean, they should. They're children for the most part. They should be doing that. But they do it in such a way that I'm just going to say it. These fucking brats can behave like a real pain in the ass. I've seen this movie before with so many guys. I've heard it in all the audiobooks that I've listened to. I was just listening to Dr. Warren Farrell's book, Why Men Are the Way They Are, and he was sharing some personal stories about this gal that he was with, that he was raising this daughter that wasn't his. And the same thing, it happens over and over again. You spend 2 to 3 years being rejected by these pricks that you're paying for, that you're providing for, that you're looking after, that you're accountable and responsible to. And then at some point you might get to win them over if you do. I don't see guys behaving that way. I see guys a lot more treating his kids and her kids, if he's dating a single mom, for example, in a lot more reasonable type of fashion. So I'm not really sure if that answers your question, but that's what I've seen anyway. Guys are just better at it. Guys are just better at just about everything, but I hate to tell you. Okay, let's go to some of these call-ins. We'll take Jacob, and we got comms. Again, if you guys want to call in, it's pinned at the top of the live chat. You can give me whatever you want. Jacob, here we go. Jacob, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Rich?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got for me, bud?
Okay, what's up, man? So I might have a sort of a unique perspective here. I'm 29 years old. I've got my own business. I got my money right. I got into Bitcoin really, really early. So I'm sitting on some pretty decent dough right now. I've had a lot of notches throughout my life, and I've obviously picked up on all the red pill stuff, and I've kind of known all that stuff early on, when I was in high school. I kind of already knew. But whenever I discovered all this red pill stuff, it was oh, okay, so other guys see it too, But my main question is the whole catch-22 of marriage and kids and stuff. It's at the end of the day, I'm not trying to live out the rest of my days alone. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to just ignore women and ignore, because I do want to have kids. I do want to have a son and hopefully multiple sons, but I just don't see, I guess my question is I don't see a path moving forward, because marriage is just such a bad deal, and there's no way around it really, because the woman's gonna want the ring at some point.
Yeah. Where do you live, man?
I live in Texas.
Okay. Well, and you said you're what, 29?
Yeah, I just turned 29 a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing for you is you got runway ahead of you. You can have kids 35, 40, 45, whatever. So thinking about it now is a real good start. You got your life squared away. You make good money?
Yeah, I make 6 figures, man. And I've been making 6 figures since COVID. So, I mean, okay. I've got a lot of money stashed away. That money's really not a problem. It's just I don't ever I don't have a problem getting dates and stuff like that. It's just the quality of women is so low, bro. I can't see myself taking any of them serious.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've talked about this before. Have you read both my books, the first book and the second book?
I actually haven't read either of them. I just watch a lot of the content.
Well, start here. So get the second edition of the Unplugged Alpha. So that's my first book. It was updated with all the proper components. It's an audiobook. You can listen to it while you drive. It's less than 5 hours. Definitely start with something like that. Most of the problems that you're talking about when it comes to marriage and having kids and the risk exposure and the potential things like parental alienation, and this happens for most guys, dude. It's absolutely normal for you to be hesitant. There was a study that they did on long-term love. I cover this in my book. And after 8 years, an average of 13%, something like 12.6, but less than 13% of couples express being in love with one another. and then less than 3% express being in a state of bliss or obsession, which is kind of like what they sell you with marriage and family and all that sort of shit. So for the vast majority of people out there, they don't get what they've been sold, right? They don't get
Right.
happily ever after. They don't get fucking rainbows and butterflies. They usually don't get respect. They get disrespect. They usually don't get any, help in their life. There's all kinds of problems. And for all of those problems and for all that risk that you put up, you expose a large chunk of your net worth, which is one part of the problem. And the other part of the problem is the alienation component, which happens in most cases when people get divorced, right? Like women usually get the custody, or they aim for the custody because it gives them the control. And one of the things that they do once they have control is they want more money, and they get more money by controlling the kids and alienating the kids from the father. A lot of dudes find themselves in a situation where they get to spend less time with their own children than the new guy that's dating the woman that they were married to. The new guy, the boyfriend, spends more time with his kids than he gets to, which is a fucking scam.
Mm-hmm.
So having that hesitancy and having that concern is absolutely normal. Most of the issues that you run into with women when it comes to having kids can be resolved in the selection process. Okay. That means vetting them properly. And a lot of people will, try to debate me or argue that point with me. But it's a hill that I'll die on. Like, I'm vehemently opposed to the idea of that's dumb. You got to look for red flags, as I talk about in my first book. And then you also want to look for green flags, which is something that I cover, Jacob, in my second book. I don't have the audiobook yet for this. It'll be out in January. It's only in print right now. But this second book deals mostly with the long-term management of women and getting what you want. So pro tip, if you're handsome, if you're successful, if you're a top shelf sort of guy, which it sounds like you are, right? You're like the natural sort of unplugged alpha because you sort of get it from the get-go. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.